look who I found in my kitchen cupboard. Welcome everyone. This is Cosmic Wholeness and our first session on the pattern of sphere. I'm here in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico on a vacation, which gave me the space to do what I like doing, which is playing with patterns and sharing that with you. I'm so glad to have the opportunity again. It's been an interesting year. I got to float through my midlife crises, make some changes, and there's still a lot of emotion. So I can't promise very regular videos right now all the time. And at the same time, knowing that once there's space, there's content and play and exploration that I am excited to share, please stick with me. If you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, you will already get notifications. If not, this is a good chance to do that. I also still have my newsletter going. Link in the notes on the YouTube channel if you want to sign up for the newsletter so you know when we're continuing that journey. So, sphere. We are starting with sphere today, and we just came a few months ago out of the pattern of spiral. And there's actually a pretty cool story that Paul, my husband, shared with me. He is from Wisconsin, and there are some parks with geological features which are called potholes. And these potholes, in a beautiful way, transform spiral into sphere. How does that work? So, I will tell you that story, but I invite you in cosmic wholeness manner not to just listen and envision, but to kind of feel into that story already. Let's re-enter that place of being, embodying. So we are in or at the end of the ice ages, and glaciers are melting and enormous amounts of water are traveling downstream over some hard rock. That water creates eddies and whirls and whirlpools. Here we are, spiral, that keeps spiraling. These streams also carry a lot of sediment and rocks, and it so happens that some of that rock gets trapped in the spiral of the eddy of the whirlpool and circles around, and starts over time to grind away on the rock underneath. A hole develops, this hole gets deeper, even less chance for the rock, and that can even be like a larger rock, to escape, until someday the glaciers are gone, we're in a new age, we find these holes in the ground, beautifully round shaped, with a round sphere sitting right in the middle of it. The rock basically was the drill creating that hole, and as it was drilling, it softened its edges and became a sphere. Welcome, sphere. How fun is that? Today we'll visit with some more examples of sphere, but before we jump into that, let's flow through our opening sequence, just to set the tone and the space. You can follow along with gestures and words, either or just meditate through it. Here I am as I am. Just feeling into the here I am and the acceptance of the as I am. Here I am, embracing myself, giving myself permission to make this session exactly what I need it to be, adjusting, modifying, laying down, standing up, dancing. What do I need the session to be? here I am entering receiving mode. Instead of trying to figure it out, get it right, get that nugget and that understanding right away, can I just lean into the experience? Can I just allow myself to be there? Can I allow myself to float? Trusting that meaning making happens in its own time. And here I am, and how do I want to be with this time? Setting an intention, maybe an intention of presence, of joy. What is it you want from this time? And here I am, and here we are in our circle, worldwide circle of explorers, just feeling each other's presence, sending some gratitude around. Beautiful. Well, welcome again to Welcome Sphere. In Cosmic Wholeness manner, in our first session on the pattern, we usually like to visit with some expressions of the pattern in nature. And yet again, the invitation is to embody these ideas rather than to listen and envision them as something outside of me. That can be in movement, that can be big, that can be small, that can also be in meditation, but let's bring in the cellular feeling of us and the world. Okay, first sphere. We're starting easy. First sphere that we're visiting with is the water drop. I am a drop of water. I am composed of molecules, happen to be H2O. And these molecules all have an electric charge, a charge that makes them connect with each other, have a pull between each other. If I'm a molecule somewhere in the middle of the drop, then that pull comes from all sides, right? There are molecule friends up and down and left and right. Equal pull from all sides. If I'm a molecule on the outside of the drop, then, there are molecules beneath me, there are molecules left or right of me, but there's nothing above. So the pull is unequal. It pulls me inward, which creates what we will call surface tension on the water drop. Now, if there is no interference from the environment, then this surface tension and this inward pull is equal from all sides. And the natural form created is sphere. Sphere is the result of the equal attraction from all sides without disturbance. Get to linger for a moment as a drop of water in our equilibrium. And then let's move into our next sphere. I am a planet, a giant amount of mass in space. And this mass also is pulled together by gravity. The more mass I have, the more this gravity works on me. If there are any areas of me that stick out, are uneven, gravity pulls stronger on them. until over time, my natural shape too becomes the sphere. The sphere as the result of that force of gravity and time, equal attraction. Let's move into our next sphere. I am a grape. Just a single grape as part of a grapevine. My shape is naturally spherical because it allows me the most volume with the least amount of surface on the outside. Why is that a benefit? Well, less surface is less loss of moisture, less chance of injury or damage. So I have an outer layer that protects me. And I'm still attached to the plant, of course. And my stem is feeding me more water and sugar. And I keep expanding. And as I expand, my spherical shape allows me to expand equally in any direction. And that equal expansion, again, makes it possible for me to be more safe, less weak spots. It's just a equal stretching, expanding, growing in the shape that is the most meaningful, the most logical, the most safe for me. Let's just be an expansive grape for another moment. Okay, let's move and be an oyster. And somebody or something has introduced an irritant into us. This irritant is edgy, it is dangerous, it's uncomfortable, it might contaminate us. So, as an oyster, I don't have the physical capacity to push it out, get rid of it. So, what do? I start to layer the irritant. I layer it with nacre, which is a mixture of sugar, protein, mineral. And as I start doing that, maybe the shape becomes a little bit more comfortable, but it's not quite there yet. I keep layering and layering until what is in me becomes bearable, more comfortable, tolerable. Maybe it can even move inside of me and it doesn't bother me much anymore because what is it? It is a sphere. It doesn't have any rough edges. This is the shape in me that is comfortable. Let's hold that sphere inside of us for another moment. All right, going to our last sphere for today. I am a flower bud. The flower petals inside of me started like as little stubbles, and they've been growing but bend inward. I have an outer layer on the outside providing protection. Again, the spherical form makes sense because moisture loss is reduced, surface is reduced, which reduces the danger of injury, rupture. That's not the right word. So, as the petals keep growing, my size grows and a pressure starts building of me wanting to open, but the time is not quite right yet. So there's expansion, there is a readiness, there's a pushing out. But for the time being, we will hold the spherical shape. We will not open yet. We will not explode open. We will stay in the tension, in the growth, and the safety of the flower bud. Stay with that for a moment. So let's think through those fears, feel through those fears one more time. Water drop, this fear created by equal attraction from all sides, created as the natural shape of that attraction within an environment that doesn't have disturbance. What is my natural shape without disturbance? And I throw these questions at you without us needing to answer them. We can just hold the questions. We can feel their answers maybe, but we don't have to logically come up with that. The planet, pulled in by gravity, anything that sticks out being smoothed out over time. What is smoothing me into my roundness? What is pulling me together? The grape, equal expansion from the inside out, held in a safe container that makes sense. What is that container for me that allows me to expand safely? The oyster and the pearl, creating a layering around disturbance, making it comfortable, making it tolerable, holdable for me. What is my nacre? How can I make things smooth inside of me? And the flower bud, oh, that growth and expansion and readiness. What is growing in me? What is ready to bloom? But I still hold it inside because this is the time of preparation, not yet the time of going out there. And what is the safe container around me for allowing for that expansion, that preparation to happen? Welcome, sphere. So fun. So I wanted to bring back a little bit of the spiral energy and see what happens when spiral energy gets converted into the shape of the sphere. So for that, let's maybe just bring back some of those spiral ideas. Maybe remember our heart as a spiral and the heart ringing motion, creating the life that is flowing through us. Maybe remember the spiral, spiralic way that we are supported, the power of spiral. Maybe remember the fern, kind of similar to the bud, but differently growing in the spiral shape until it is ready to expand. Maybe remember the snail growing slowly, stretch by stretch in the safe expansion, always contained by the spiral. Maybe remember the feeling of the mystery of the spiral within the sunflower, also contained inside until someday it is ready to open. And then let's remember hurricanes, whirlpools, galaxies. Spiral as the pattern of acceleration, power, pull. So let's get that spiralic energy into us. Really let the power through you, the attraction, the acceleration. And then let's bring that into a round shape, maybe within the walls of a sphere. The power of the spiral is not stopped or turned off, it is contained. Let's do that a few more times. We can go wild, open, spiral, power. And then bringing it in. Into the round sphere. One last time. Power, amplification, growth, expansion, energy, and bringing it in, smoothing it out while still containing all that energy. We'll continue with that in a moment. Let's do something different first. So, a sphere, beautiful thing about a sphere is it is equal from all sides, right? There's no front or back. It's just a sphere. So, as human beings, we do clearly have a front and a back, right? And so much of what we're doing every day is in the front. We're gesticulating, we're expressing, we're doing, figuring things out. That's kind of what we're doing with like the receiving mode in the beginning, right? So is getting ourselves out of the doing, figuring out mode. But because so much of what we are is right here in the front, let's take a moment to balance things out by becoming aware of and becoming more centered in our back. So if it's comfortable for you, you can move through that exercise, but it's of course also possible to do that seated or laying down, but become aware of your backside. Maybe your shoulder blades, the back of your arms and hands, back of your neck, back of your head, upper and lower back, lumbar, butt, back of your thighs, back of your calves, back of your feet, entire backside. And for a moment, just notice what it is like to move and perceive from your backside. 100% of my focus on the back. And maybe finding the deliciousness in it. Hello, fluidity, finding the juiciness in my backside. The aliveness, the expression, the expressiveness. I'll give us just a minute to play with that. And try on with your eyes closed, and try on if you can maintain the same awareness of your backside also while being out in the world with your gaze. Then when you're ready, start reintroducing some of your front side in your awareness and your expression. But let's see if we can get a more equal balance going. 50% front, 50% back. How does that feel? Another minute of that play. I could kind of do that all day right now. It feels really good. Curious how you're doing with that. Please drop a comment after the session, or you can pause too. Okay, so if it's somewhat similar what you're experiencing with my experience, there is an energy and aliveness, and I would dare to say that there is like some spiral energy in that awareness and mobility of the wholeness of me. There's like a similar feeling to my hurricane and my galaxy and my fern. So let's bring this spiralic energy back into a sphere, and let's start with a small sphere. Let's imagine that we are in a sphere, but it is like the tiniest sphere we can afford around us. Not a lot of motion, wide motion available, but at the same time, we are also not diminished. We're just taking up the sphere of a small space. Can I be in the small sphere and still feel my energy? Still feel the aliveness and power? Can I be in the small sphere without being diminished? And a question that again doesn't urgently need conscious answering right now. When in my life do I want to be in the small sphere? When in my life do I want to be in my power but invisible? Or just not take up that much space? When could that serve? And because comparison is such a beautiful teacher, let's stay in the small sphere, but let's allow ourselves to be diminished by it, lose our spiral energy. Like, what is me in a small space, but not at my full potential, not at my full expression, not at my full freedom, allowing myself simply to be small. What is that like? And when you're ready, just bringing back your expansive, full expression into the small space. And I'm ready for some more space. So let's expand our imaginary sphere to like the width of our arms and hands, legs and feet, and maybe even 1 or 2 feet beyond that. How does it feel to have my energy in that space, express myself in and from that space? And in which situations is that the space I'm in? In which situations does this space feel the most beneficial, safe, fun? I'll give us a minute to play with various sizes of sphere around us. Keep expanding your sphere if you like. Keep expanding through your neighborhood. If you like, expand it to the corners of the universe and try yourself on in those various sizes, expressions of sphere. When is the time that I am my sphere is scraping the corners of the universe? When is the time that my sphere is close, smaller? If you like, bring back in the feeling, the comparison between having your growth power within the sphere or not. Like, if I'm in a large sphere, but I don't come with my spiralic energy, how does that feel? And what does it feel to turn that back on? right. Let's maybe end our session just dancing with sphere any way you like. You can hold the spheres, play with small spheres, larger spheres, be in the sphere. Just taking a moment to have a welcome dance with our new shape, our new pattern dance partner. Just sensing into that energy, that roundness, that container. What is sphere for you? Well, we will have 2 more sessions to find out. I look forward to the next one with you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate your comments under the video. I'd be very curious to hear how this first encounter with sphere was for you and how you're doing. And for now, sending you much love and look forward to playing with you again soon. Take care.
Ooh.